Welcome, everyone, to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. In this session, we are summarizing and reviewing a simple and short book, Rebuild Yourself by Justice O. Malcolm. I'd like to call on our first mastermind who will give his review or summary on this book, Chaz Culmer.
Hello, everyone. The book Rebuilding Yourself by Malcolm O. It talks about how you can, focus on yourself in a better way daily through self-awareness, knowing what actually triggers you, rediscovering your passions, uh, knowing that most people, or many people, attempt to live their lives like they see on television, as they see in these reality shows, knowing that that's not truly what it's about. Many people are manipulated by, the twos and fro's of every day, and they never really stop to take a moment to say, what is it that I want to do? They never stop to actually make plans or goals for the day, but they're actually manipulated and dictated to by the days that they're in. So this book is a great book, and it gives you ways to develop healthy habits. It gives you ways to be able to um, have creative thinking through meditation, prayer, uh, just different laws, where your attention flows, energy flows, and so do your actions. And, uh, you have to give attention to your thoughts, your ideas, your habits, because these are the sum totals of who you are. And if you apply different actions in rebuilding yourself, you can rebuild your whole life in a better way. Thank you.
Chaz Culmer, thank you. Thank you. Rebuild your life in a whole better way. Our next mastermind is Reggie Hilliard.
Hello, everyone. So, as far as with rebuilding yourself, I mean, it's really about being yourself and really just like living the best life that you can live, living the life that you can live, which really just comes down to just being really on top of who you are and what you're doing each and every day, created by the habits that you have, created by the thoughts that you think, created by the books that you read, created by the food that you eat, created by the TV that you watch and don't watch, created by the movies you're watching and not watching, created by, how you behave towards others, relationships, relationship with yourself, most importantly. So all of this, like these things and then some are going to help you to create the life of like the lifestyle or the life that you would like to have and being that person you would like to be, because it's really all stuff that you have inside of you and you just have to access it, and oftentimes you sit with yourself, you're able to access. If you go quiet, if you start asking questions, and then all the answers start coming to you, and then you can implement that. But it's really about a paradigm that you can embody or a paradigm that you can follow. Essentially, a list of instruction, or a list of rule, a way that you can live your life that is in accordance with who you should be, how you should be, and really just getting to a place where you're actually feeling whole about yourself, complete about yourself, and living a life where each and every day is a life where you're honoring the life that you have, honoring the people who come before you that have helped the way and that sort of thing. So ultimately, if you're really on top of that, if you really emphasis on it, putting the right effort towards reading books, the right books, having the right conversations, eating the right foods, sitting down with yourself, being quiet, loving on yourself, loving on others, you'll get to that place where you feel whole and complete. So really that's what I'll offer tonight, is really just talking about that and getting us to understand that if we do the work and we ask for the right things, that they will come to us, and all we have to do is follow the right course.
Reggie Hilliard, thank you. Following the right course is definitely, I'm in agreement with that. Rebuild yourself. Did you know that when you go to school, you learn just X amount of information, but at home, you can learn as much as you want, no pressure, no test to follow. You just got to learn, and build on that. This book made me realize that I've been doing that for 15 to 20 years now. And although I don't have a perfect solution, it reinforces my perspective in reference to building myself that I'm on the right path because I'm not obligated to do this. I'm not being forced to do this. I'm not being paid to do this, but I want to do this. And it's my way of rebuilding myself. And I like the way that Justice O. Malcolm explains that even if you're not the most successful person out there, you should aim for big goals. Whether you achieve them or not, you are on a path to achieving them. And that path, that journey, is how you keep rebuilding yourself day to day. Some of us just forget to look at our goals on a day-to-day basis, because every day we have to build on something in order to get us to that bigger goal, whatever it may be. That's why I like this book. Now, I'd like to open up now to asking two questions of my fellow Mastermind members in regards to this book. Number one is, how do you guys feel about where you've been in the past compared to where you are now and where you're headed in reference to your goals? Chaz?
I believe that my creativity has been unlocked as I've gotten older. I believe that I've learned from past experiences, past thoughts, and past actions, and I can actually be an example for others in coaching or leading them down ways not to go because I've already experienced them. Uh, I've experienced aligning myself with my goals and accomplishing things such as educational goals, such as financial goals, such as health goals, even. So I have a sense of achievement in rebuilding myself, even as I was going to talk about, even though as I fell a couple years ago on my job and wasn't able to work a physical job anymore, I look to rebuild myself and I feel sorry for myself through trading, looking to become a prop trader, a master trader in the currency market, in the options market, in the stock market. So I've been studying that. And what happens to you happens really to all of us. We don't have to be, I guess, stuck in our circumstances, but we can rebuild our own realities.
Thank you, Chaz. Culmer. Thank you. How about you, Reggie Hilliard?
Well, I mean, for me, it's really been a journey through life from once I was young, just getting to an understanding of a place of I can access all that I need to access within myself. Initially, just getting familiar with it very young, to go back to things that I had said that that I wanted to be, things that I wanted to do over the course of my life. From 10 years old, I can even think back around that time, maybe even before. Uh, for example, fifth grade, I came in third in my class. I said I'm not going to be third anymore because I miss being valedictorian, salutatorian, and so I said I'm going to be number one, and I was number one, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, which was middle school, and I ended up graduating valedictorian in the eighth grade. I can recall that, but then as we go forward, there were other things that I started to learn as I pressed on and asked for the direction and the knowledge and awareness, books coming to me, people coming to me, to fast forward to now, being at a place where the expanse of my mind and my understanding has just grown infinitely. And I feel I can do anything because I know I can do anything. And I've just took upon myself at least to do one thing that maybe I figured I couldn't, not that I couldn't do, but that was the tough thing. Because in understanding you can do anything, the only thing that you really need to do is kind of like a science experiment, because science always says you gotta experiment, you gotta prove it, but you can prove to yourself by you're not going to do everything in life, but do the thing that you thought you couldn't do, and that should then tell you that you can do anything. And so, what it is in life is it's an experiential thing, which means you go through the modes of actually tasting, touching, feeling, all those types of things in order to understand, like what it means to be able to do a thing. And it's not necessarily something you say in your head, which we often say things like, "Oh, you can do anything," or life is great, or life is a game, or whatever statements people make, but then there's no real figuring that out by just saying it, because that may not be enough. So for me, it's been a path of like figuring things out through actually experiencing and going into the deep end of the pool and swimming And I've been able to do that to the degree that it's been so infinite for me and wonderful. And my experience is so much so that I can't even put them in words. And when I even try to share them with others, it's almost like I get tuned out because people don't understand it because they haven't tried those things because they're, um, we're living too often at the mundane level. So my whole goal is just to keep putting it out there and sharing with people so that we can all explore to the depths of infinity so that we can live a life as full as it can be because there's no stopping that what you're able to do if you just actually go and pursue those things. You will be able to realize, but you have to put the confidence and faith in yourself and God that those things are possible and they will be possible and everything can happen for you as much as you believe.
Thank you. Thank you, Reggie Hilliard. So another question is, since you started on your journey, have you either modified, completely changed, or continued on your path to your goal, to your life goal?
I guess okay, I'll take that question. Have I modified? You always want to modify, change, and adapt because of circumstances. What you're going through today, you may not go through tomorrow. What is present today may not be present tomorrow. The only thing constant is change. Your change is going to come no matter what. I was sitting here earlier and I was thinking about ways that life has changed and how I had to adapt to that. And you will have to adapt to different circumstances. And you will have to reevaluate your goals, your passions. You'll have to focus on, as the book says, rebuilding yourself. You have to focus on which way your energy will flow so your actions, emotions, and intents will flow that way also.
Thank you, Chaz. How about you, Reggie?
So for me, it's been one of where maybe at one point I thought it was all about me and what I needed to do in order to get to my destination or destinations. And one of the biggest lessons I learned even more recently was to get myself out of the way, to step aside and get out of the driver's seat because I don't need to drive and just go into a flow state. So, and just again, realizing that and experiencing that, what that really means to, like putting it into action, going forth and saying, and asking for the direction, the guidance, whatever, which, is then not necessarily me, but getting that guidance and then saying, and saying to myself, okay, it's not about me doing everything. I don't need to do anything. Stop thinking about it. Get into a flow state where you're not even having to think anymore because you're automatically on a path that's been assigned to you. And so there's nothing to think about. And so that's really been one of the biggest lessons I've learned to get out of my own way so I can get on my way. Let go, let God, those types of statements, but actually to live it in reality because for me, it wasn't about just hearing those statements and throwing them around like cliches because I didn't want to live a life full of cliches. I wanted to live a life of purpose and meaning and reality of like making things manifest, which has happened and is happening in such a profound way and to continue on in that way so I can show the world as many people as possible what's possible.
How, thank you, Reggie. How have either of you dealt with checking internally, whether it's through meditation, silence, exercising, or taking a trip, whatever? How have you dealt with yourself?
That's a great question. We all need to take a moment, as I said earlier, especially in the morning when I get up, I take a moment with myself to first be grateful. I wake up with an attitude of gratitude, to be thankful for the day, to be thankful for this life, to be thankful for where we are. Uh, I love to travel. Traveling is one of the things that uh, I just love to do, to see different places, to be around different people, experience different things, different foods, different cultures. So traveling is something that I look forward to, that I set a goal to do. Recently, I got to go to Dubai, which was 13 hours around the world. And that was just an experience in itself to see how other people live in the desert where there was, once nothing. And you can see at the extension of their city that there's nothing, but in nothing they're building something. And you can bring that back with you home and that thought that even though there's some things in your life that looks destituted, you can build something. Isn't that right, Chloe? That's my daughter.
Thank you, Chaz. How about you, Reg?
So I've always heard that the answers lie within. And again, very much a statement that's tossed around. But then it's like, how do you experience that? How do you actually live that and see that that's a reality, a truth? So recently I did a 10-day silent meditation in December of this past year. Went away and for 10 days didn't speak, sat in a Buddhist temple with others that were on similar journey. And for 10 days, essentially 9.5 days, didn't say a word. Well, I said a couple of words when I asked the instructor, which we allowed to do, ask questions about how to, questions about the meditation and, things that you might have been struggling with. So I really just asked one question. But overall, for 9.5 days, I didn't speak. And was one of the most profound things I've ever done in my life. And, to be able to actually realize what that means to be able to see and feel and touch what it means to actually get the answers from within. So the amount of impact and the amount of return that I got from there was infinite. So that again, just experiencing those things that tossed around. Life is great. Not life is great, but like the answers lie within. The answers are within, and if you sit with yourself, as I've been able to do, quietly, not speaking, and just meditating, asking, meditating, constantly just in that state of program, you can actually realize and get every single answer you need to get in life. And so for me, it was a phenomenal experience.
Did you guys know that in the 1900s, early 1900s, or before, people spent 10% of their time acquiring information compared to today, where people spend 80% or more of their time acquiring information?
Hmm.
How do you think those people will manage rebuilding themselves compared to how you're doing it, or
Well,
how it was done back in the 1900s?
well, information is pivotal. It depends on how you apply it to your life, how you apply it to situations, how you use it to benefit yourself and others. And even the book talks about, cultivating your own self-awareness as being a detective of your own life, detecting what's actually going on with you. And that's how I can use information and learning of different knowledges and awareness to fulfill my life. Uh, you have AI out right now, which is the new and hottest thing out, and people on this panel have been able to use it to help them write books, and you can use it to, I guess, put your thoughts out there. You can use it in several types of ways to be creative, to work stock markets, to have bots and so forth. So technology is pivotal in our lives. Technology has advanced us to the point where we are now. So, in the future we'll have flying cars and maybe even transportation where we could literally get into some type of transporter and go to another part of the world or even the galaxy. It remains to be seen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chaz. Now, do you want to add anything, Reggie, or are you good?
I mean, the thing that I'll mostly speak on or say to that is that with 10% of time taking up 10% of your time to get information would have given you a lot of other time to actually use that information if you actually understand to take that information and use it. Now, nowadays, people are soaking up all this information, but it's majority of it is crap, propaganda, garbage, those types of things. And then you get so inundated with it, you don't even know what to do with it. It's just a bunch of stuff that's like flying around in your head or whatever, and having people paralyzed, having people doing all these wrong things, acting out of pocket, all these type of things, because they're just getting so much information, and most of it is really meant to put you in a state of fear, right? So, and then also to keep you entertained, keep you, dancing a jig, not accessing your higher power stuff, doing the right thing, eating the right foods. Like a lot of people not accessing that information, so they're eating all the wrong foods, calcifying the pineal gland, whatever it may be. So you're not even able to operate at your optimal self. So the information that they're getting is just filling them up with junk. You become a cesspool of like garbage. And that's the unfortunate thing. So what? So what? You have all this information. If it's the wrong stuff, what do you do? You don't do anything. You just exist, and you live in a state of just existing as opposed to thriving and evolving and growing in such a capacity, because you have the right information, the right mindset, the right energy, the right, all the right ingredients that is going to allow you to take what you have and build upon it. So that's really what I'll speak to. I would think maybe in the past they were able to take the information and use it more purposefully, because it was concentrated information, pinpointed, focused information that they could then, use that to parlay them certain things out of it. But nowadays, we're just talking mostly the majority of information is trash, unfortunately.
Thank you, Reg. Now, in order to close this summary/review of rebuilding yourself, just want to ask you one more question. Hopefully, you have a very simple answer, so we can keep people alive into this book. Do you feel that you will utilize one thing from this book from here forward on a regular basis?
Yes, developing healthy habits, a daily routine, making things happen consistently, being consistent in what you eat, as Reggie had mentioned, being consistent in what your thoughts, being self-aware of what goes on, filtering information. Since he said what he says, there is a lot of different things out there, but if you have a passion or goal that's within you and an inner thing that you must do, a God-given task or achievement that you need to accomplish, you need to take what you need that's available to you, focus on it, and then strive for it. That's it. That's it. No matter come hell, wind, or high water, you have to stay focused on what it is that you're looking to achieve and who you're looking to become as far as rebuilding yourself.
Thank you, Chaz Culmer. Reggie.
Well, thank God a lot of this book is my life as it is. Like it's actually, it's as if I could have written this book, because I lived this very example. And so I'm grateful for that, because I've asked for the right guidance, and the guidance has led me to being at a state of awareness that I'm going to think about what I'm thinking about. I'm going to be right in my mindset, be right in how I treat my body, treating it like a temple, read the right books, stay in my own quietude where it's necessary, to be in my space where I'm like not around the energies that I don't need to be around, to be in a growth mindset, to doing a lot of the things that is going to really, again, enhance me and evolve me to the state of where I'm realizing everything that I'm supposed to realize during the existence that is my existence. So I'm grateful. I'm just very grateful, because I've asked for the truth, asked for the lessons, asked for everything, and I'm open to receiving. And when it comes, I follow the course that I'm supposed to follow without thinking about it. And so it's just for me to continue to ask, continue to stay humble, and continue to run the train, or just take the path that has taken me to heaven.
Great. Rebuild yourself. I enjoyed it very much, and it seems like you both, Reggie lives it, and Charles is implementing it. The three of us are implementing it. Very good, short and powerful book. And I mean, if there's one takeaway from this book, it's that no matter what you're doing, you'll have most likely a long-term goal. And it's not about acquiring that goal for the majority of us. It's about the path to that goal. And rebuilding yourself is mostly about not giving up. And if you do give up, find a way to get back on and start something again, even if you have to start from a level that you're not really wishing that you were at that level, but continue to rebuild yourself. And that's why we recommend this book. This is the Mastermind Book Club thanking you for another session with us. Until the next one, where we'll review another empowering book. Take care.